One of the many things I love about Southern California is its vibrant car culture. Take a drive on Pacific Coast Highway any Saturday or Sunday morning and you're bound to catch an eyeful of amazing cars ranging from stunning vintage classic collectibles to lowriders to high-performance modern luxury supercars. There's no shortage of auto shows to check out, and many communities have regular car and coffee meetups where enthusiasts put their beauties on display for the locals. Tustin, California is home to a must-visit gem for car lovers, the Marconi Automotive Museum. Founded in 1994 by Dick Marconi, the museum is also home to the Marconi Foundation for Kids. Recently, the Marconi hosted their 30th anniversary open house, and being a bit of a car fan who had never visited before, I thought it would be a blast to check it out. The street in front of the museum was lined with beautiful cars owned by spectators, and these were some of my favorites. I love vintage Alfa Romeos, and I hadn't seen a Giulia 1300 Ti up close before. So classy. Same goes for this vintage Spider. Look at how clean this thing is. Unreal. This vintage Maserati was a looker as well. These were the first of several beautiful classic red Ferraris that were on display today. A necessary accessory for your Magnum PI Halloween costume, or if you're disguised as a Catholic priest to evade cops in a cross-country road race. Bonus points go to whomever gets that reference. Wandering into the parking lot, I was greeted by an assortment of stunning vehicles ranging from classic to contemporary. The American muscle cars were in full effect, and I just had to get a closer look at this Shelby Cobra. Is it the real deal or a reproduction? It's hard to tell, but let me know what you think. The museum is 100% family friendly, and I even saw some dogs cruising around the event. Of course, they had a food truck, but I already had that donut earlier, so I was good. How often do you see a BAC mono just sitting around like it's no big deal? Think anyone would mind if I took it for a spin? Where's my helmet? The parking lot was an assortment of just about every dream car you can imagine. Here's a ghostly Koenigsegg Regera that you don't see every day. And here's a lovely green Speedster, because why not? There was so much to see outside that I hadn't even stepped foot inside the actual museum, so I made my way into the Marconi. The lobby of the museum is lined with an amazing assortment of interesting motorcycles, including a Kawasaki Sheriff, vintage Bultacos, Honda, BMW, and some badass Ducatis. Upon entering the main showroom, I was greeted by this wonderful yellow '73 Ferrari Daytona, supposedly commissioned by Sonny Bono as a way to woo Cher away from Greg Allman, but it didn't work. Ah well. This whole section of the museum is basically a Ferrari party, with an F40, F50, and many, many more. They are so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up. There's another silly reference for you. I have to say, the abundance of insane cars was almost overwhelming. Here we have some incredible Formula One cars, a Williams FW10, Ferrari 310, and an '88 Honda driven by Ayrton Senna that all look like they've seen some serious action. Over on the American side of town, we find some real beauties, including a version of the General Lee. Yeehaw! I would have lost my mind seeing this as a kid. Of course, the DeLorean is a requisite. Here's a sharp-looking AMC Hurst SC Rambler from 1969. You've got Kit, a Batmobile, Steve McQueen's jacket, and a beautiful Lotus 23B surrounded by friends. This is a '65 Ford Shelby 350 GT that was Carroll Shelby's first Mustang that Dick Marconi raced for years. Just a little side note, I would love to have a classic Vespa someday. Here's a beautiful 1937 Ahrens-Fox fire engine. And a sports car for the kiddo. I'm a sucker for an 80s BMW, especially a 635i. This exquisite 1969 Lamborghini Espada deserved some extra attention. I don't think I've ever seen one of these up close. I love it. The race shop has a lot to see as well, with several incredible cars lining the walls. If I could take one of these cars home, this incredible BMW M1 would probably be at the top of my list. Very nice. There's so much going on in the race shop, you could just spend an hour or so in here. On my way out, I spent some quality time with this 1950s Mercedes Gullwing. What a classic. It just oozes elegance. Yeah, I think this one suits me pretty well. I wonder if they accept trade-ins. I headed toward the parking lot exit just in time to catch some incredible cars as they were leaving the event. And then I reached the finish line. I had a great time at the Marconi Automotive Museum, and I'll definitely be back. If you like cars and you're in the area, I highly recommend putting the Marconi on your must-visit list. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe. See you next time.